are not welcome here. What? We just got here.
You don't belong on this street. I'm calling the police right now. HOA. Karen stood at the edge of my driveway like she owned the asphalt, pink tracksuit stretched tight, phone shaking in her manicured hand as she pointed at my wife unloading boxes from an olive green military transport truck. That vehicle is illegal. That uniform is stolen valor. You people are lowering property values. 3 houses down, her husband filmed like a nervous intern documenting a crime scene. And right on cue, red and blue lights flooded our driveway. Hey HOA family, welcome back to Ruthless HOA Tales. If you love watching HOA, Karen overplay her hand and lose everything, hit that like button early, because this one detonates. My wife had just returned from a 2-year deployment. I bought this house so she could come home to peace. Instead, she came home to HOA Karen. We don't allow industrial vehicles. HOA Karen snapped at the responding officers, and I believe she's impersonating military personnel. The police chief approached cautiously. Ma'am, I'll need to see identification. HOA. Karen folded her arms, smiling like she'd already picked out our eviction notice. My wife didn't argue. She didn't raise her voice. She slowly reached into her back pocket and pulled out her military ID. The sunlight hit the rank first. Colonel. The chief straightened instantly and snapped into a salute so sharp it cut the air. Welcome home, Colonel. HOA. Karen stopped breathing. The same officers she summoned were now apologizing to the woman she accused of fraud. And just like that, the power shifted. But here's the thing about HOA, Karen. When humiliation hits her ego, she doesn't retreat. She retaliates. You think flashing a badge makes you untouchable? HOA. Karen shouted across the street 3 days later, waving a stack of papers like a victory flag. Let's see how powerful you are without your little salute squad. She slapped the first notice onto our mailbox so hard it bent. Violation. Fine. Violation. Fine. Violation. Noise at 6:02 a.m. Hedges too tall by 1 inch. Welcome banner classified as unauthorized signage. Vehicle parked 2 inches beyond curb alignment. 5 fines in 1 day. HOA family, if you've ever dealt with someone who weaponizes paperwork, you already know this isn't about rules. It's about control. Make sure you're subscribed because HOA Karen just escalated to bureaucratic warfare. By the end of the week, the total hit $1,140. She created an email chain calling my wife unstable, claimed the military truck meant stockpiled weapons, suggested PTSD made her a neighborhood risk. Neighbors stopped waving. Lights turned off when we walked by. HOA. Karen wasn't just issuing fines. She was isolating us. I sat on the edge of the bed one night, exhausted. Maybe we should move, I said quietly. My wife didn't even look up from her laptop. I've negotiated in war zones, she said calmly. I'm not losing to a woman with a clipboard. Then she turned the screen toward me. Public HOA financial records, vendor contracts, payment logs. Lucas, she said quietly, why does the HOA landscaping company receive $50,000 a year, and why is it owned by Karen's husband? My stomach dropped. She clicked again. Administrative processing account, $30,000 in fines over the last year. Signature authority, Karen. That's when it stopped being harassment and started looking like embezzlement. HOA. Karen thought she was bleeding us with paper cuts. She didn't realize she'd left fingerprints on every dollar. Next week, emergency HOA meeting, public vote. And my wife was about to walk into that room with evidence that would set the whole board on fire. You are out of order. HOA Karen screamed, slamming her gavel so hard it cracked. The emergency HOA meeting was packed. Neighbors who once avoided eye contact were suddenly front row because rumors had spread, and HOA Karen knew something was coming. She tried to rush the agenda, tried to skip new business, tried to adjourn early. My wife stood up anyway. You've fined us $3,860 in 30 days, she said calmly. For hedges, for parking, for existing. Murmurs filled the room. HOA Karen rolled her eyes. Follow the rules and you won't have problems. That's when my wife connected her laptop to the projector. First slide. Landscaping contract, $50,000 annually. Owner, Karen's husband. Second slide. Processing account funded by resident fines. Authorized signature, Karen. Third slide. Bank transfers routed to a private account. The room went silent. You're accusing me? HOA, Karen snapped. No, my wife said evenly. I'm showing them. Neighbors leaned forward. One man stood up. Wait, we paid late fees that went into that account. Another added, she fined me for repainting my porch. HOA Karen's voice started cracking. This is harassment. This is slander. My wife didn't blink. It's public record. Then came the final slide. State compliance code requiring conflict of interest disclosure. There was no disclosure. That's when someone in the back said it. Call an audit. The room erupted. Hands went up. Voices overlapped. HOA. Karen tried to regain control, but the gavel wasn't loud enough anymore. The vote was called. Board members shifted in their seats. 2 abstained. 1 voted no. 3 voted yes. Audit approved. For the first time since we moved in, HOA Karen looked small. But she wasn't done. As everyone stood up to leave, she leaned close to my wife and whispered, "You have no idea what you just started." And the next morning, a certified letter arrived. Lawsuit, $48,000 in defamation and damages, HOA. Karen wasn't backing down, she was going nuclear. You think you can expose me and get away with it? HOA Karen hissed outside the courtroom doors. I will bury you. That's how it started. Not with dignity, not with accountability, but with another threat. The lawsuit she filed against us was for $48,000. Defamation, emotional distress, damage to her reputation. But this time, HOA Karen wasn't controlling a cul-de-sac meeting. She was standing in front of a judge, and judges don't care about power trips. Her lawyer tried to spin it, claimed we targeted a volunteer, said the financial documents were misunderstood, framed her as a victim of a smear campaign. Then our attorney stood up, calm, prepared, surgical. He submitted certified bank statements, vendor agreements, audit summaries, fine revenue reports, all legally verified. The courtroom went silent. HOA Karen tried to interrupt. Your Honor, this is outrageous. Ma'am, the judge cut in sharply, you will wait. Then the independent audit findings were read aloud. $72,000 in improperly allocated HOA funds, undisclosed payments to a landscaping company owned by her brother, selective enforcement of fines, abuse of board authority. The confidence drained from her face. Her lawyer requested a recess. Denied. Then came the ruling. The plaintiff's complaint is dismissed with prejudice, meaning she could never refile it, but the judge wasn't finished. The court ordered reversal of all improper fines, full reimbursement of our legal fees, a mandatory financial review of the HOA, referral to the state regulatory board for investigation. And then the line that ended everything. Evidence presented suggests potential self-dealing and misuse of authority. HOA. Karen didn't yell, didn't threaten, didn't posture. She just stood there, silent, as board members slowly distanced themselves from her. Within weeks, she was officially removed from the board. Her brother's landscaping contract was terminated, new transparency bylaws were adopted, financial oversight procedures were implemented, and for the first time since moving into Oak Ridge Estates, our mailbox was empty. No violation letters, no threats, no power plays, just peace. HOA Karen built her empire on intimidation. She forgot that real authority comes with accountability. And when the truth finally hit the courtroom floor, her reign collapsed in absolute silence. If you made it this far, you already know how this channel does it. We expose the power trips, we tell the truth, and we deliver the karma. Don't forget to like this video if you believe no one is above accountability. Subscribe to Ruthless OA Tales for more stories where HOA Karen finally meets consequences. And tell me in the comments, should she have faced criminal charges too?